How's it going, Falcon film fanatics? It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan, and we are back for another Falcons film breakdown. And today I'm going to be breaking down Tevin Coleman, Falcons' #2 running back. And Falcons fans will say that there's no 1 or 2 running back. There's just 1A and 1B. So whatever that's supposed to mean. But the Falcons' second running back on the depth chart is Tevin Coleman. In my mind, Tevin Coleman brings a couple things to the Atlanta Falcons. Versatility, run and catch. So Tevin Coleman has very good hands and allows the Falcons to throw out of the backfield more often. Wheel routes or out routes that allow the Falcons to throw underneath and catch people by surprise because of Tevin Coleman's next trait, which is his straight line speed. When Tevin Coleman gets going, he is nearly unstoppable. So big trait for the Atlanta Falcons is Tevin Coleman's ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. And the other big thing that Tevin Coleman does is run stretch or outside zone plays that give him options to either cut inside or cut outside from the very beginning. That is one of the biggest strengths for him because it gives him options to then turn on that straight line speed and go. So let's go ahead and look at this play really quick. This is what not to do with Tevin Coleman. I think I'll start us out with that particular play and kind of showcase that. In this particular instance, they throw short to Tevin Coleman. And Tevin, look, he's got great hands, but if you're going to throw it that low, no wide receiver is going to be, or what wide receiver, running back, tight end, doesn't matter what it is, but no one's going to be able to catch that. So I don't know, maybe this is just Matt Ryan just not getting it. He panicked because he saw the outside blitzer and wanted to just dump it down. This is what not to do with Tevin Coleman. You don't do this kind of stuff. Maybe Tevin needs to make this play and catch this ball, but I would not make this type of play ever again for Tevin Coleman. Do not ever throw it short to Tevin Coleman like this ever again. Using Tevin Coleman in a zone blocking scheme is super important because it allows Tevin, who's a very smart player, to realize what lanes he has available, especially if you have an athletic offensive line like the Falcons do. They don't all have to be super playmakers. They just need to be athletic enough and be technically sound to do what they're doing here. So in this particular case, Tevin Coleman gets the option of going inside where the play is originally supposed to go, or go to the second gap created by the same play. So in this instance, on at least this view, you're going to see Tevin Coleman's looks like this play is meant to go down that gap. Where actually the play is meant to go up the middle and then give him the option to go to the outside. Let's watch. The original play is meant to go down this gap, and it looks like the center just kind of falls straight down, does not get the correct push. He looked like he might have tried to even chop block this. And Tevin gets this ball and originally supposed to go straight down this area. But because of the, interesting blocking choice, now Tevin has another option. Take it straight down this hole and then right about somewhere here, get to top speed and just take it straight down the gut of the defense. And when you give him those 2-3 steps to get into full rhythm, he'll make you pay. Again, another bright spot for the Atlanta Falcons, and I'll keep banging this into the table until people get it, is that the outside zone blocking or counter plays for the Atlanta Falcons are more valuable than inside running. Because I would rather have Devontae Freeman, and this is where I get into this argument here, Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, where Atlanta Falcons fans say, 1A and 1B, Coleman is the 1B and Devontae Freeman's the 1A because Freeman is more athletic and more shifty and whatnot. Look, if I ran outside zone concepts all game and played a high-octane passing game, you'd never stop me, ever. And maybe sprinkle in a couple of draw plays here and there, and you would never stop me, ever. Now, eventually some coach would make a system or scheme or fit his players in a particular game plan where it would slow me down, but it would not stop me, and this is why. Devonta Freeman is a great runner, and he has a great skill set, and in fact, actually, after getting paid his massive 5-year contract, he tailored his game to be more patient and be able to be a better inside runner. That's not to say that he doesn't run outside well, but if you want a better outside runner, you go get Tevin Coleman, and here's why. Tevin Coleman on a stretch play or on a toss play or on an outside zone block where he's given the option wherever the defensive end goes. If he goes inside, Tevin goes outside. If the defensive end decides to block outside too far, then Tevin takes it to the inside. In this particular case, he gets a lead blocker as a fullback, and he gets to run it right to the outside, and there's Tevin's speed. That's Tevin Coleman for you. If I'm running that particular type of play, you have to have super athletic linebackers. You have to have defensive linemen that can penetrate the hole every single play, because I'll keep running this play over and over and over. And again, this is all on how the blocking situation came in, where you have a wide receiver here. He came from out here, and he came in and blocked this edge. You have the linebackers coming down, but they kind of got held up by, what is that, number 80? I think that's Toilolo down on the ground. Poor Toilolo. Feel bad for you, dude. But you have Coleman come out, and then you have Tevin Coleman be able to come through this play and go straight up the seam, because you were able to have athletic blocking do the job. Very important. And I would run this play multiple times, because they have to run from here all the way maybe 5-10 yards out here in a short sprint, and Tevin Coleman's going to beat you every time like that. It is my belief that the more that the Atlanta Falcons utilize Tevin Coleman in not only the outside stretch zone play or the counter play or toss to the outside, but also utilize him in the passing game with his very unique skill set of being able to catch the ball and do sort of a power zone running style, a very hardy runner, but a very light catcher, which is exactly what you want in a running back. The more that they utilize Tevin Coleman this way, the more success they will have. Utilize Devonta Freeman in between the tackles, and then take Tevin Coleman and put him to the outside. You will get plays like this over and over, because Tevin will just burn you down the sideline. It is my strong belief that Tevin Coleman will continue to get better this way. And Steve Sarkisian needs to key in on this, figure this out. Because having Matt Ryan, with a very clean pocket here, everybody got pushed right out of the play, and him being able to step up, he has that immediate option down below. But he sees Tevin Coleman burning down the sideline, and all he has to do is make an accurate throw and put it right in his hands. He knows Tevin can catch it. So the more they utilize Tevin Coleman in the passing game, I think the more explosive this Falcons offense will continue to be. And like I said earlier in the video, if you want to kind of change it up, then you spread them out like you do here. You've got 4 guys in the box, and you've got 5 guys, burgers and fries, and you got 1 linebacker on the field. And the Falcons call a perfect play here. Like I said earlier in the video, if you want to get the most out of Tevin Coleman, there's one other play that I would do. The first one I said was do outside zone, stretch plays, toss plays, Tevin Coleman, allow him to choose his lane going out towards the outside, and test athletic linebackers. If they don't have athletic linebackers or safeties, you're going to beat them all day. The other way is to go and catch the ball with Tevin Coleman underneath, over the top, wheel routes, allow Tevin Coleman to get out of the backfield and catch these great passes down the sideline. And the last way to be able to beat them is the draw play, especially in a call like this, where Tevin Coleman and Matt Ryan kind of key in on this, and they just let it go. When he gets running like this, it's good stuff. I love a draw play, and they do key in with one safety coming down. He figures it out. But by that point, the hole is open. Tevin Coleman can now run straight down this line, and he will be completely down there for yards, for days. Straight for days. When you pass the ball so much and you have other playmakers, Mohamed Sanu, Julio Jones, you have Freeman, and you have Hardy, and you have all these other guys, Hooper. When you have all these other guys, you leave pockets of space open. The Falcons continue to struggle figuring that out, but I saw glimpses of it against Buffalo, like this play, where they just figure it out and let Tevin Coleman be the athletic guy that he can be. One more time for you. Falcons are going to have Hooper go up. They're going to block with their 5 dudes. Hoop's going to just go straight into blocking. The draw play is on. I think if Tevin Coleman runs more to the right-hand side, he gets away. But that's nitpicking. And I don't remember if I said it at the very beginning of this video, but I will say it again if I did, and if I didn't, then I will put out this point. That Tevin Coleman is the power runner between the two. And don't get me wrong, Devontae Freeman runs very powerful. And I'm not going to say that Devontae Freeman is not a powerful runner, but when you're talking about Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman and the power between those two, Tevin Coleman can hit the hole, man. He can. Now, this is not a play that plays to the strengths of Tevin Coleman, running him straight up the middle. But when you need those yards and you're kind of making it look like you're going to run an outside zone play and leave the interior gap open, you can run Tevin straight down the middle and get, 3-4 yards. Let's watch again here. Offensive line doubles up on the outside, doubles up on the inside, and then gives Tevin 2 options. Option number 1, cut back to the inside and go down this gap. Option number 2, straight down the middle where the blockers are. If this gets pushed out to the left of Tevin Coleman, then this opens up and he's just one-on-one with 50. And option number 3 is that this group here gets pushed out and he's one-on-one with this linebacker, number 52. Let's watch. Option number 2 happened, where the interior line pushed out 91 and 52 out of the play, and 50 gets blocked out slightly, and Tevin pushes through the hole in the middle. Power running there. Good stuff. So without getting over dramatic about the inside running and going back to the strengths of Tevin Coleman, here's going to be a pitch play. And Tevin Coleman's going to run to the bottom of your screen. And one of the things that, again, I keep saying over and over, let Tevin Coleman go outside, because he's a straight downhill runner. Like, he's just, once his gears get going, there is no cutback. There is none of that. He'll have to, bend around and get going. So maybe that's one of the weaknesses of Tevin Coleman. But I think that if Tevin gets that initial, you go outside, Tevin, okay? Then he gets in his mind that what I want to do is just keep running. There is no cut or none of that. But if I have to go straight outside, then I have to find my lane. And this is what happens when you allow him to do that and when you have the Falcons blocking for him. One more thing before we really get through this. Let's not over-exaggerate on the fumble because Tevin has always had fumbleitis and weird fumbles happen to him. But I do want to point out that if he was the one criticism on this play, or at least in Tevin Coleman's career, if I'm going to get a little more broad about it, is that he needs to learn about ball security and keeping the ball up in front near his chest and stop carrying it all whimsy-flimsy like he's doing right now. You can't really see very well, but he's got it all cradled way to the outside. He needs to bring that arm inside. So like I said, you allow him to go to the outside, he gains those yards for you. He just does. Thankfully, we had one of our guys come out there and were able to bring that ball back. Bringing a guy in motion also helped a lot because it gets people to freeze, like this linebacker here and this linebacker here. And the safety is keying in on the play, but he's frozen in place because he had to watch this wide receiver go around in motion. Great blocking here. Who is that? Is that Hardy? Or is that Gabriel? I think that was Hardy. Yep, that's Hardy. Watch Hardy on this play. Initial block. Just pushes straight into him. Could have been called for holding. But yeah, you allow Tevin to do that, and he's able to gain those yards for you. That plays to his strengths. Now, any Falcons fan in the entire world knows about this play. It's happened to Jarius Norwood. It happened to Michael Turner. It happened to Devontae Freeman a bunch of times. But using Tevin Coleman in this spot, a more sure-handed running back or wide receiver or tight end, able to catch the ball. When you have a more sure-handed guy, and I'm not saying that Freeman can't catch, I'm just saying that Coleman's better at it. When you have a guy like Coleman, you can run this particular type of play where it's a shovel pass up the middle. The center and the left guard just let go of their blocks and they head more upfield, and you kind of dump it off to Coleman here and allow him to make a play. Now, he didn't follow his blockers, because I think if he follows his blockers here, he might gain a couple extra yards. If he turns, takes off to the left, I think that Tevin Coleman, it gets the block here from Mac. Mac blocks this dude out if he takes a left. But again, this speaks to Tevin Coleman, like I'm trying to tell you guys. Tevin Coleman, when he gets the ball, just starts going. It's like a wind-up toy. It does not have another function other than just go. There is no turn left or turn right or a silly move this way or spin move that way. Tevin Coleman gets ball, turns, and goes. That's why if you want to play to Tevin Coleman's strengths and the strengths of your own team, you have to make him initially go to the outside and make him go left or right. And then allow him to use his straight line speed to go forward. He's not going to make a lot of cuts. He's just going to go straight. So I think if he actually does stop and actually does move to the left instead of getting the ball and just going, rah! Excuse my super scream. But if he does get this block here from Mac and he does turn this way, I think Andy Levitri comes over here and blocks on the other side. And I think that Coleman runs right at the middle and he's, near the 10-yard line maybe. But that's critiquing the play too much, and people will give you the thumbs down. So Coleman makes a nice play here. He really, really does. And again, playing Tevin Coleman's strengths, catching the ball, running outside zone or pitch play. Look at this. Gone. As soon as he got the ball, he didn't look anywhere but open field. He just said, I'm gone. I'm out. Peace. Bye. But playing to his strengths makes him a more dangerous person and gives the Falcons another weapon and option to use him. So like I said earlier, And I showed you that first play. This is how you do not use Tevin Coleman properly. But if I'm Steve Sarkisian, I never use this play. Literally, if I'm Steve Sarkisian and I watch this game film, I'm never using this play ever again. Whether it's sending Tevin in motion and doing this play, or he starts sidecar and he does this play, or he goes out of the backfield and he does this play. I never use this play ever again. Get Tevin Coleman downfield, get him 5 or 6 yards downfield. Don't use this play ever again. Now, I did skip over a pass to Tevin Coleman from a screen. I get it. That it did make 10 yards or 5 yards or whatever, but I hate screen plays, so I'm never ever going to show that on my channel ever. Because I think they're dumb. They're dumb in college, they're dumb in the professional level, and you may criticize me in the comments for whatever, but this is exactly what I'm saying. Do not use this play ever again, where Tevin Coleman goes into motion, comes across, and then, if you guys can see my pin, goes all the way to the top and tries to make this flat catch behind the line. I never use this play ever again if I'm Steve Sarkisian. Going across, still in motion, goes up. Okay, he's maybe 3 yards above, and he tries to make this backwards catch. I will never use this play again if I'm Steve Sarkisian. We saw it at the very beginning of the film breakdown, and here we are again utilizing this play, and it's just bad. It's just a bad play. Don't do that to Tevin Coleman. Stop doing that to one of your elite players. You stop it right now. This is unacceptable. And this is where, on the Tevin Coleman video, that I have a small rant. And where I get a little upset, but I won't go too much farther. Use, whether it be Julio Jones or Devontae Freeman or Gabriel, or you use Hooper, or you use Matt Ryan on a run, or just whatever plays that he needs to make, or you use Levine Toilolo, or you use Mohamed Sanu, and especially Tevin Coleman. Play to their strengths. Utilize the plays that work the best for those players. With Tevin Coleman, it's outside zone runs, toss plays, stretch plays, outside throws that are 5 or more yards down the field, wheel routes, or what my old coach used to call it was a shark route, because it makes a fin to the outside. But maybe that's too elementary school, too pre-high school. Using Tevin Coleman and his strengths allows him to be that guy, be that elite player that we saw earlier in the film. Using him in plays like this one, where he is literally being thrown on an island by himself, or trying to utilize him in a screen pass and have him stop and then make a move. Like I showed you in in one of the film breakdown pieces in this video, where they threw a shovel pass. When they threw that pass to him, he turned around and immediately ran. He looked for nothing else. You have to force Tevin Coleman out and to make him make a decision. But if you're trying to power run with him, or you're trying to short pass to the outside flat with him backwards, it's not going to work. So utilize the plays that work well with Tevin Coleman and stop bogging him down with crap plays like this one. So this is, again, like I said, I don't want to go too far, but Steve Sarkisian, trash this play. Trash it. It's done. It's over. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Please support the channel by hitting the like button on this video. Please hit the notification button so that you get notifications whenever my content comes out, and subscribe to the channel. It just helps us a lot and keeps us going afloat. We're almost to 1,000 subs, So I hope that, by our next game, we can hit that mark and we can do a huge super video for you. Peace out. Grease out. This was Lieutenant Dan.